Hello everybody, welcome to the OAG. I'm Craig. Thank you very much for checking out the channel today. We've got some new news coming out from Tamiya into the market today, and that is Tamiya going to be re-releasing the DB01 chassis. They're not releasing specifically the Durga again, but what they are doing is they're doing a DB01SR, which nobody yet knows what an SR actually means. But what it does mean is that this great buggy, this four-wheel drive buggy, is going to be re-available in the market again. And I thought it was a great opportunity for me to dust off not only this one, which I built last year, and I've got a bit of a front diff problem at the minute. You can hear something's not quite right somewhere. The back one's fine, but the front one's not quite right. So I've got to strip it down and see what's going on in the chassis and the drivetrain. But I thought it'd be a good time to revisit, because I really like this buggy. It goes really, really well around the Orchard Raceway. And I've actually got another one. And I thought it'd be really good just to have a quick look at what you get inside the box. So when you open up your DB01, there's no lovely inside overlay. There is just the body that's placed in this quite large volumed area, because the body shell is quite big on the Durga. Now, who knows if you're going to be getting a body shell with the DB01SR. You'd like to think that there's something in there, and maybe it'll be a Durga shell, or maybe it will be the other shell, which was this one, the Baldre, which I think keeps the dirt out a lot better. The reason I picked this shell up, and you can't really see it in there clearly because it's underneath the cellophane, I don't want to open it up, but the Baldre had a different type of body fitting, and apparently it kept the dirt out a lot better. So I picked one of those up because the Orchard Raceway is just full of dirt and grime. My least favourite thing about the DB01 was these funny wheels. The rears are fine, they're just, oh no they're not. The rears are also not great, and I don't mind opening this up to show you. So the rears are in this sort of funny pin, and I hope they get rid of that and put a proper hex on the rear. And the front wheels on the Durga have a very shallow hex. You can see that there. Now that was probably the worst bit about it for me, is the fact that you needed to buy additional hardware to get sort of normal wheels to fit, which was really frustrating. The wheels were these, or the tyres rather, were these funny sort of carpety tyres. Again, not much use on the dirt, so I swapped mine out for, I actually changed the whole wheels altogether and put some standard Tamiya Star wheels on mine with the Super Spike, Super Grippers. I'm not going to open all the plastic parts, but you get your standard CVA shocks that you'd expect. There's a lot of high quality plastics that go into the Durga, and I will link, I did a build video, I'll link the build video that I did on this, this chassis. Bearings, for the most part, are in there. There are some bushings. You get universals. No, you don't get universals in this. No, you don't. You just get regular uprights and, sorry, not uprights, outdrives. Loads of turnbuckles in there. There's quite a few shims in the build. The hardware is all not self-tapping screws, so you really have to get a tap and die and go through and do all that sort of stuff, like tap and die tap. And go in and create all the certainly on the body, on the chassis pan, pan, sorry, it's really good to go in there and pre-thread the holes. Down under here, if I open that up, you've got all the plastic parts. You've got the belts for the drive, so it is a belt-driven four-wheel drive system, which is really neat, really nice. The plastic parts, I said, are all really good quality. The chassis tub will be in here somewhere at the bottom, probably. And the chassis tub, there are two different types of chassis tubs. This is the older one that takes the nickel metal hydride batteries. There was one that had a shorter battery tray for modern lipos. But yeah, it's a nice quality bit of kit. But a lot of people who have this model, like me, will know that trying to get any of the hopper parts for it now is pretty much absolutely impossible. This is never all going to go back in here, is it? Nothing like seeing someone trying to repack a RC box when they've opened it all up for an unboxing, because it never goes back in the same way that it once came out, and I have failed. Right, let's take a quick look at some of the hop-ups that are more difficult to get hold of. Look at all this. Lovely jubbly. So, in this packet here are some unofficial... I've not even opened them. I don't know if I want to open them. There's some unofficial carbon damper stays in there, which I would buy Tamiya ones if I could find them. And what I've been doing over the last, I don't know, 2 years is just collecting up a whole host of hop-ups for the DB01. And they're so hard to find now that a lot of these I've had to import from Japan because I found them on websites and they've just been available for purchase. And I've picked them up onesies and twosies at a time just to try and get a far better build. And what I wanted to do, so I've already got one that I've built that I run. I wanted to do one that was sort of the ultimate super edition, as close to the RR spec or the RRR spec as I could get it. So I started off collecting all the parts. And I've got a couple of others over here as well that are not over here. Mainly these, which is the big bore aeration dampers, and also I think it was those, which are the rear spring sets. And I thought I had some front spring sets somewhere, but they appear to have... Oh, I have. They're here. There you go. So I've got an absolute boatload of hop-ups. So these big bore aeration dampers are beautiful. I've got the front and the rears of those, and the adjustable spring sets. Not that I necessarily need those, because I'm a bit of a casual runner really, but they were quite nice to see all of that together. So I picked them up while I had the opportunity to pick those up. What else have we got here that's quite interesting? Those are the hexes that I was talking about. So if you want to change the wheels out, like these, for regular hex wheels, those are still the shallow ones at the front, but the rear ones there are proper hexes. You need those adapters there to be able to do so. We've got some lovely little blue bits in there. Aluminium steering posts. Some more of those alloy hubs for the front look. Those are the difference that you can see how thin, if I turn it on the side, you see how thin those front hubs are. And actually, when I was putting the wheels on to my original Durga, I bust one of those. There's two gear differentials. So I've already got a problem with my ball diff, and I don't quite know why. I don't have a great track record with ball diffs. So what I bought was the gear diffs because I thought they would be easy for me to maintain going forward. And I'm pretty tempted actually to swap those out in the original one. I've got some reinforced belts because sometimes your belts can go slack. So I thought it never hurts to have a spare set of those. And they are slightly better than before. We've got rear universals there and front universals there. So I thought that it had universals. It doesn't. If you want the universals, you've got to get them separately. We've got the suspension block, aluminium suspension blocks in there, just additional strengthening. There's a suspension mount there for the rear and one for the front. Already shown you the steering post. We've got a aluminium steering set, which I believe are quite rare, difficult to find those. I've got some suspension balls that go on the end of the arms to support with making the suspension nice and slick and easy. We've got some ball protector seals. Now, I can't remember why I picked those up. They fit the DB01, so I bought them. And I can't remember the reason why, but I did get those. Aluminium horn for the servo saver specifically that goes onto this. I got an extra set of pads for the slipper clutch because I have got a double slipper clutch. Now, this system, I've not seen or understood exactly how the double slipper works. The slipper clutch was rare. The double slipper clutch was super rare. And I was really pleased to find that in Japan. And also, I've got a set of TRF 501X stabilizers to go on as well. My one and only ever TRF purchase. So, as you can see, I've got a huge amount of additional hop-up parts to go onto my DB01, and hopefully it will be one of the nicest DB01s that I can build, depending on, of course, how good that new DB01SR that Tamiya is going to release looks like. I've sort of got it all back in, just. So the question on everybody's lips is, will I be buying a new DB01SR? And the answer to that is, it depends on how much different that is to the DB01. You've got to think that it's going to have something different about it. You've got to think there's going to be some hop-ups out of the box. Could just be that there are some of the nice alloy bits on it in the middle. It could be that they include the gear diffs instead of the ball diffs in there, maybe, to make it easier to maintain. I would hope that it's got more standard hardware on the front and the back instead of the silly designs of these wheels. That would be really nice. I'd certainly be considering getting that if that were the case. It could be that they include a slipper clutch in there and make that standard. It could have something like universals in out of the box. But whatever they choose to do, I'm interested to see. And I'm really pleased that Tamiya are considering bringing back the DB01, because it really is a really, really nice drive. I think it would be really good if Tamiya also put back out the DN01, which was the Zahak. I really want one of those. Really, really, really want one of those. And when they come up to buy, they're really, really expensive. What I love about this is you can still pick one of these up if you wanted it for a reasonable price, which is why I've ended up with two of them. Because I wanted one to run and then one for spares, because the spares were so hard to get. And then I got hooked into all the hop-ups and ended up with this amazing potential build. But if I could get hold of a DN01, I think that would be super nice to get into the fleet and drive against some of the others. This is the only thing that goes around my track anywhere near as quick as my Top Force Evo. And this can take a lot more power. This is probably a better drive ultimately if that track was to be longer and opened up more. I think it would be a better runner. So yeah, Tamiya, thanks for doing something like this. That gives me a lot of hope that we're going to see some other releases from Tamiya in the future that are going to dip back into the modern back catalogue, which I think would be great. That's it. Are you happy about the DB01SR? Are there any other Tamiya from the past that you would like to see come back in the modern era? I'm not talking about those Dynastorms and things that we all know we want. Are there any modern Tamiyas that you'd like to see re-released? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and join the channel. Thanks for watching. See you all soon. Bye for now.